Geek Life presents.
What's up, and welcome to the Week in Geek. It's your boy Kool-Aid. This is the homie Rich, and we're to hit you with the top 10 in comic book trends. But first,
guys, continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's keep talking about this hobby that we love. We got so much to talk about this week.
Man, I know you've seen Doctor Strange.
Yes, and I loved it. It was dope. It was crazy. It definitely a Sam Raimi film. It had the horror elements to it, but I love like the whole parallel universe, multi-universe aspect of it all. I love that stuff.
I thought it was good, but I think because I was so hyped to see so many different characters, it was a little bit of a letdown.
I think honestly, with like any movies now, the hype is really gonna have a negative impact on you. Yeah, I think we got to go into these movies just to see what they are. So I'll give you the perfect example. I saw the remake of Firestarter, right?
Okay.
That movie is freaking dope, son.
Is it?
It is. And here's the crazy stuff. So I was in the theater by myself. I had the entire theater by myself. It was so dope. Nobody was there at the time. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon. But yeah, like you just never know. I didn't think nothing of it, right? I barely remember the original, but I went into it because it was like the closest movie from when I got to the theater. So I was like, all right, let me check it out. And it was dope.
See? And then so but SpiderMan saying No Way Home, I think it lived up to the hype. I thought it was what it was supposed to be. But I was ready for Ghost Rider to drive through or something. Daredevil, I'm saying Deadpool just to say something random and walk off. I didn't expect these big cameos, but I expected just a little bit. You know what I mean? They're going through the multiverse.
So I think Spider-Man actually exceeded the expectations. And I think that's what messed us up for the very next comic book film, which was Morbius. And so like whenever we're like so hyped after seeing like an Infinity War, for example, the very next movie you see is gonna be disappointing if it's not like No Way Home or whatever. So this Doctor Strange is dope.
It is a good movie. I'm not giving it a bad grade because it's a good movie.
Don't compare it to Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and it's set up, and we're gonna talk about this later. But if you don't understand how it perfectly set up the next big event in the MCU, you are not a real comic book fan. It basically told you at the end what's next.
And guys, anyone watching, if you don't know, that's okay too, because it's hard to keep track of all the crazy little things. Like I don't catch all the Easter eggs all the time, and sometimes some of the stuff that I catch, like no one even knows what the heck I'm talking about.
But still, like if you're a real if you're a fan of the movie and you just catch this because we're entertaining, cool. But if you're a real comic book fan, there are certain things that you need to know in a comic book universe. You need to know like the death and rebirth of Hal Jordan, the death of Superman. I'm saying when worlds collide in DC. I'm saying when the Age of Apocalypse in Marvel and the X-Men. There's certain things that you have to know.
Dark Phoenix saga.
The Dark Phoenix saga. There's certain big things that you need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And I would word it differently. I want to say that you need to know, but it would benefit you to know going into the films, because I think it definitely like makes it more hype for you as a fan. But at the same time, as we've seen with a lot of these movies, for me, Venom 2, it adds also to the disappointment. So sometimes I almost feel like I almost envy the people that go into a movie not knowing anything about the universe that they're about to watch, because they kind of have like a cleansed palate, so to speak, to like what they're about to witness. You know what I mean?
All right. And just to finish up, I'm still giving away a 9.8 CGC. I'm not 9.8, but a CGC book for the best Avengers roster. I've got like 20 entries, but I'm gonna hold out until the end of May. So hold your list. I haven't forgot about it. So give me your top five people. I say they need to be Marvel. Rich says be whatever. You know,
make your own miscellaneous team.
I say it needs to be Marvel. It's a Marvel book. But, you know, as long as they 5 people and it makes sense to me, I'm with it. But we're going to see how Doctor Strange and everything affects this list. You ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, number 10 on this list is Doctor Strange 175. Now, this is the first cover appearance of Clea, way at the bottom, but she's there, right? Unless you're sitting under a rock, she's in Doctor Strange number 2. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, and if you ain't seen it, or where she comes in, or how she affects the movie.
We should probably throw a spoiler alert before we start the countdown, post edit.
I'll do that. I'll throw it in there. Be like,
just because they're
alert.
Sensitive people.
Do you know how many messages I get about spoilers? My job is just to put out the news, bro.
Right, I'm on both sides because I feel the people who don't want it to be spoiled, but I also feel like stay away from the internet if you haven't seen something, because you know the internet's going to talk about it.
And it's been out. Like, if you don't know the secrets of Doctor Strange, you have not been on social media. You slipped under a rock. You know what I'm saying? Right. You've been hiding out. You ain't watched TV or nothing because they throwing it everywhere I see.
Right, exactly. So it's like I don't know how you can avoid it. And we don't want to intentionally spoil anything. That's why we don't go into details. But guys, it's been a couple of weeks now, and you know. And
honestly, I'm saying, because Clea is Doctor Strange's boo thing. And so I believe all of Doctor Strange really sets up for them to get together. I think the whole movie is just for them to get together.
And if you're paying attention to the comic books now, she's actually an important person in the Marvel comic book universe right now.
Yes, she is the Sorceress Supreme. I'm saying, Bada Bing Strange number 1 came out 2 months ago. So I'm going to say that. And I'm not going to put spoiler, because you should have been at your local comic book shop. You should have been on geeklifecomics.com, Nocturnal Creek Collectibles. You should have picked this book up already.
You got to learn about these books, as the rest of the list is going to show you, so you could get them while you could still get them. Now,
let's go on to number 9 so we can show
Strange, them. This book, though, is affordable. So if you still want to get
it was straight affordable. It was like under $50.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So go out and pick these keys up, because this character looks like it's going to be a big part of the MCU moving forward. You're going to see her again.
We'll see. Now, I will say this, though. I wish she would have been casted differently.
Why?
I don't feel her anymore.
That's going to be another topic for another show, because I feel like there's an interesting story to go in there. Let's go to number 9 and pick this one up later.
All right. All right, guys. So today's number 9 is going to show you how the books on our list vary from price to price. The number 9 book is Conan and Barbarian, number 24. This is the first cover appearance of Red Sonja. And just like our last book was affordable, this one's going up in price.
I think you told me it was $300 or $200 something for a raw copy.
Yeah, the raw copies are selling for like $213, and then yesterday a raw book sold for like $337. So
wow.
Yeah, this book came out in 1973. Dope artwork. I'm a big fan of Conan, Red Sonja universe. As a kid, I watched the movies, even though we probably shouldn't have been watching those movies as kids. But what are you gonna do? It's the 80s, right? But I'm excited for this book, and if you can get an affordable copy, I highly recommend you doing so.
All right, number 8 on this list is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 1, the original OG version. This book is skyrocketing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just telling you before we started filming that I got my original copy and got it signed by Mike Zeck for $10, dude.
See?
And that was like, I don't know, like 2011 or something.
And in beginning of this year, it was going for like $20.
Right.
But if you've seen the end of Doctor Strange, it sets it up all day.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I think so.
Because an incursion happens, and that is what sets off Secret Wars.
Okay.
And so now you have all these superheroes and all these villains colliding in one epic battle.
And isn't there like the parallel universes or the multiverses are getting like entwined and they might like destroy each other?
It's like Dormammu's universe and our universe are colliding.
Right.
And so heroes have to come together to stop it in this secret war.
Ooh.
Yes, of course. And it's set up by the Beyonder. And remember, in the Beyonder in Secret Wars was just this entity. It wasn't even a real dude. So you have to pick up Secret Wars #2 to get his actual first appearance.
Nice.
See, this is what I was saying earlier about you have to know your history to understand what's going on.
No, definitely. You're right. In order to stay on top of like the storylines, you do got to know your history.
And everything they're doing in the MCU right now is to build up the roster. Like Infinity Wars and Endgame, it was cool to have all of Wakanda come out and all the sorcerers come out so they could fight for, right? But
absolutely.
In Secret Wars, you have to be somebody to show up.
Yeah, which is interesting because I wonder how they're going to handle it with the current state of the MCU. So I'm guessing it's going to have to be all the new people.
Exactly, and some old people, and then you got to think about it. You have Miss Marvel, you have all the Young Avengers secretly floating around in there, right?
Right.
Then you have She-Hulk coming out. Then you have the Fantastic Four is rumored to be coming before the end of Phase 4. You have all these things that are coming out, and all these people have villains. And there's and every movie so far had a villain. So if you bring back all them villains, we already know Abomination's coming back.
Yeah, we've seen him already. We saw him today.
Exactly. So if you missed the trailer for She-Hulk, he showed up today. So all these characters are going to come out and all these villains are going to have to come back for one epic battle.
He was dope in Shang-Chi too.
Yeah, even though it was a little bitty part, but I'm just glad he's coming back.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought he was a dude. I think people forgot about that Hulk until they started bringing back these characters, which I love.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I'm on board, and I can't wait to see how they translate this storyline onto the big screen.
It's going to be crazy. So if you have not picked it up, this is going to be my stamp of the week. I know it's going for $65. I don't see it going down. Pick up 2 copies. Pick up 3. I got 4 copies myself, but I'm a spec dude. Don't be like me. Be better than me.
All right, guys, no surprise. Today's number 7, Vengeance #1, the first appearance of America Chavez. Guys, this book, I cannot believe this was like a sleeper book. And now like it's selling raw for like $300. A 9.8 just sold on the 15th for $900.
I had one, I sold 2 years ago for $80. And I thought that was incredible for $300.
Absolutely. Huh?
For $300 now?
Yeah, it's crazy. So obviously the movies have a very direct impact on the comic book market. Supposedly this book is on a downward trend. So that's interesting to see. So close to the movie being released. I wonder why.
Down after the movie,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are picking up on Miss Chavez and rolling with it because she's going to be a huge character in the MCU.
Now, I will say this. I liked her character. I thought the kid that they hired did a great job. I liked her. I thought it was dope. I know some people are having issues with her character and her storyline, but I think it was well done.
Really well. Only thing I didn't like was punching the star. I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Why do you gotta punch the star? Like,
visually it looked cool.
It was it was kind of corny to me. She was like, punch, and then the star came out. All right. I didn't understand the motive behind that. Couldn't she just wave her hand? Because she was punching the universe but having trouble making sparks. So that was messing me up. The kid from SpiderMan was making better sparks than her. Have you ever wanted a sling ring? I want a sling ring.
What's a sling ring?
That's what they use to make the sparks.
Oh, the sling ring. Yeah.
Where would you go if you had a sling ring?
I do want one. That would be a dope power to have, especially when you're sitting in traffic.
All day, every day. I would go to like the beach in Dominican Republic with it. I'd be like,
right? I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's cold out here. I'm going to the DR.
So what do you think? Is this book gonna continue to climb, or do you think it's gonna like mellow out now that the movie's out?
I think it's gonna mellow out a little bit, but
okay,
it is going to climb back up. This is a book you definitely need to grab, right? If you can afford it, grab it raw, then get it graded, right? There's a lot of people who press that this book, if you can get it in a good copy, like especially because she is a young Avenger. So she will be with that group eventually. And so I think she's going to play a bigger and bigger role in the MCU.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely think this is still a spec book to get, even though she's already made her mark, she's already out, but obviously they're going to continue to use her.
Hey, so this is like up there with Miles Morales. These people are going to show up. And so I know they're pricey, but if you can afford it, pick one up, put it in the locker, hold on to it. It's going to make a mad flavor. Yep. All right, number 6 on the list is Batman Beyond the White Knight #1. And this has been on a list for a while. Everybody's hot over this new female Robin, but then they're saying it's a cameo.
Right. So this was a cameo of a new character. And as we've seen for not a lot, but some characters in DC that come out, because I always think of the Superman villain that you were specking on.
I got like 20 of those books still sitting there.
But it's weird, you never know. So for some characters like Punchline, everybody rushed out to get them in the beginning. So I wonder if this book is going to have a similar effect. Like right now, raw, these books are selling for like $15. It's kind of steady staying at that price range.
It was up to $20-$30 when it first came out, so it really went down a little bit.
Right, because it was I want to say it was a limited run, right? They like not too many shops ordered it,
and then, so then the second print, and everybody has a second print.
Everybody has a second print, right? Yeah. So this is definitely a book that's still you're still able to get. I recommend it. It seems like it's a dope
local comic book shop. You might be able to go to your local comic book shop and get it at cover price if you really look.
Yeah.
So I bet you people still have it. And then this is one of those I worry. It's like this is called a cameo, so with the hotness on it, and everybody's loving it. They're going to bring her back. So since they're saying this is a cameo, she must have a full appearance coming up. Because if you haven't read the book, this is the Red Hood, and I believe in an alternate universe of Batman Beyond. Saying even though he's mad at Batman for training him to be a hero, he trained the little chick to become a superhero.
Okay.
So but you didn't want to do it, but you did it to somebody else.
Jerk. All right, today's number 5 is SpiderMan 2099 #1. Remember, it's that red foil goodness from the 90s that everybody jumped on back then. I know when I was a kid and we were collecting books back then, everybody had a copy of this book.
I had X-Men 2099. It was a good run either way.
Yeah, I had a bunch of the 2099 books, but this one was a fan favorite because everybody was bugging out about the look of the new Spider-Man.
All right, and we know that he's fighting Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse #2. We don't know why yet.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they're going to end up teaming up together, right?
Of course. There's they broke it into like 2 different movies. So there's 2 and 3, and it's all coming out. One's about to come out this summer, I believe. And the other one's coming out during Christmas.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that.
Oh, Sony's about that money. They're going to break it down any way they can.
True that. So yeah, this is still surprisingly an affordable book to get. Raw books are selling for like $17, which is weird because I remember them selling for like $40-$50 only like a year ago.
I thought it was going somewhere near 100. Maybe the bubble, like people are saying that the comic book market bubble burst. I don't believe it, but I think it was COVID and the lull in the comic book hype. But it's
definitely. It like every other market, it has its ups and downs, and some books just have better like better success when it comes to like holding on to their value, like Ultimate Fallout #4. But then you have some books like Naomi, for example, that was like really high when it first came out, then went back down, then went back up. And I have a feeling that Spider-Man 2099 is a book like that.
I think we get closer and closer to the movie, and then it comes out, and then kids see 2099, and they get excited about it, and the toys start selling. This book is going to rise.
It will.
You know what I'm saying? I can see it all over. But I don't think he's a real villain. And we're going to talk who we think the real villain is next. You with me?
Got it.
Okay, number 4 on the list, we're going to get into the real villain of Into the Spider-Verse #2. Rumor has it that Spectacular Spider-Man #98, which has the first appearance of the Spot, is the real villain. And if you don't know who the Spot is, he's a character who can make holes in the universe. He can even make a hole inside of you and jump through.
Oh.
Yeah. But he's supposed to be the real villain because you understand we're world hopping again. And so he can create these holes into the universe.
Okay. So this is an affordable book. Not a lot of people, I think, are specking on it the way we are. I recommend getting this book. If you're a fan of cover art, it's a dope cover. I mean, with Kingpin splitting the Black Cat and Spider-Man, like, I would get it just for the cover, you know what I mean?
And he's one of them villains who's been around, but he doesn't get the hype of like a Kingpin does. He's a big villain for Spider-Man. He's a big villain for Daredevil. So you got 2 characters that are obviously in the MCU that you show up for.
Nice. Yeah. So definitely, if you can find this book, get it now, because once we get closer to the movie and people realize if it's true that he is the villain, I think the book will go up some.
See, and I'm wondering if they'll hold out. And then 2099 is the main villain for 2, but 3 is the Spot. And he's the one who's really behind all this.
Right.
You see how it goes?
Yeah, that could happen.
And so you can make it to Spider-Man #2, and it's not that hot yet. But all of a sudden, at the end of the movie, this book is blowing up.
I like it.
This brain of mine, man.
I love the long spec.
Because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is one of the better Spider-Man movies ever.
It really is. Absolutely, it is.
So I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah, I don't think we will be. I think they'll continue the legacy of the first one.
You said that about Morbius.
I did not say that about Morbius. All right, guys. Today's number 3 is another book I'm excited about. We talked about this one a couple of weeks ago. This is Grimm #1. Guys, I'm telling you, I have a feeling about this book the way I did when Something is Killing the Children was about to come out. I had King of Spies, Department of Truth. Like, these are hot books, guys. Like, there's 12 variants for this book that I know of right now. And I can't tell you like which one is the best one. They're all so dope.
And I think it's one of those books that is going to come down to which variant people gravitate to, because it has so many variants, but it's a hot story. There's several covers. There's several covers to the original Something That's Killing the Children, but only people really dig is the A cover, right?
Right.
But some of them other covers still fetch a pretty penny, but they're so hard to find. People don't put them on the market.
Right, because people hold on to them. These are definitely collectible books. So these books are still easy to find. A lot of them still go for cover price. One of my favorite covers goes for about $30. I don't want to mess up the name, but we'll put up a picture of it so you guys can see it. It's super dope. But like I said, like, get this book now because it's still new, because I have really good feelings about this one.
The crazy part, Kool-Aid hasn't, and I'm usually the first one. So Friday, I hope there's some good covers for me. You know, I got some in my local comic book shop. Shout out to the Comic Vault. You know what I'm saying? They hold it down for your boy. And I'm going to go pick it up, and we're going to go check this out. And I'm with you on this one. I'm going to follow you on this one.
All right.
All right, big. All right, number 2 on this list is Daredevil #9 from 1999. This is the first appearance of Echo. And if you follow my IG, Geek Life Comics, you'll see that the first look dropped today. All right. And people are loving and hating this. So what's your opinion, Rich?
I like it. I think it looks dope. I don't understand the hate that like this is having. We were kind of talking earlier how it seems like there's like division amongst like the Marvel fans, right? It seems like there's fans that are strictly the films, and it seems like there's fans that are strictly the shows. And then there's people like us who like a mixture of both. To me, it's all like one universe, including the comic books, the stories, all of that. But for some reason, like people are kind of hating on the shows.
But I think Echo is also that hero. Like Marvel has been coming out with these street level heroes, right?
Yeah.
You have Daredevil, you have Echo, you have Luke Cage. Moon Knight is really saying he's a street level hero. And these are people, and Echo is not over the top like everybody else. She doesn't really have a superpower. She's deaf. She just beats people up, right?
And she has like a reason for being the way that she is. You know what I mean? Like she has her purpose.
Okay, and so the shows come out. I think people are not really feeling this. We know she's down with Kingpin, right? But Kingpin is overly strong, and so how does Echo match up? But if you follow the comic book, she's currently the Phoenix in the comic book. So I don't think she's going to become the Phoenix in the MCU. But this is one of those books that is either you love it or you hate it, but it sells for big money.
Yeah, definitely. So right now, Raw, like just recently, one sold for $165 Raw. So like a 9.8 usually goes for like $389.
See, $389 Raw. That's not even 9.6s and 9.4 go for a hefty price right now. So
yeah, that's a 9.8. The 389 is a 9.8.
See, and I believe this is one of them characters that the MCU has potential to use a lot because you're building a new Avengers team.
Yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be like a split in the fandom in terms of like the collecting world. Do people collect like strictly the shows? Do people collect strictly for the movies? And where are my people who collect for the artwork?
I think a lot of DC fans are collecting for the artwork and the stories.
Okay.
Right? And then Marvel fans are collecting for the TV shows and the movies. Because you see a lot of movement with DC over, I'm saying, what happens in the story or a new character comes out, people rush to DC.
Right.
When a new movie comes out, they rush for the movie.
Right.
So that's what I think. That's why I think the split is. Because the Punchline comes out, everybody's rushing. New Robin comes out, everybody. These are in the comic book stories.
Right.
But now everybody's rushing for Echo and they're working for the Clea. And nobody even cared about Clea 2 years ago.
Nah, no one did.
Right? And then when her Strange #1 came out, yeah, it sold a little bit. It was getting some heat, but not like it does now that the movie came out.
Right, right.
So I think you got two different versions. I think because DC movies suck. So I believe that's how it was going to go. That's how it was going.
And it seems like the actors suck too, right? They can't stay out of trouble.
All day, every day. Ezra.
Today's #1 is the Savage She-Hulk #1. This is the first appearance of the She-Hulk, believe it or not. I always thought that it was another book, but
Sensational. A lot of people do. Sensational She-Hulk came out later on in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought she would like pop up in the Avengers or, in the Incredible Hulk, but she actually came out in her own self-titled book.
Right. And so it's going for a reasonable price right now. And it's going, I think, like $189 Raw, which is still really reasonable for her book.
And this trailer just dropped for a minute.
Hot. And the trailer just dropped today, and I love it.
I like it.
That didn't sound much like liking.
The CGI kind of bugged me out.
I don't think it's the finished CGI because look at Hulk, look at Abomination. I'm saying, and
why did the Hulk and the Abomination look better in the She-Hulk trailer than She-Hulk did?
I don't think they're finished. That's just the trailer, man.
I hope you're right. Of course, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give it a chance. And if I could have this book in my collection, I would, because I actually collected a lot of She-Hulk books when I was younger.
The crazy part is I had it like 3 times and sold it like 3 times. I can't help myself. I get a book. I want to make some money, so I sell it.
That's the nature of the game. You want to get the next book.
Hey, but I'm definitely gonna be there because I love Moon Knight. I'm digging the Disney Plus shows. I'm all over it, so I'll be the first one to check it out. I'm even starting to dig Miss Marvel, and I wasn't digging that at first.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think I'm gonna enjoy it.
Well, I'm saying that's the show for today. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you check us out. Go to Nocturnal Creek Collectibles on Instagram. He's always posting some hot book for sale. Go to geeklife_comics. I'm always posting the news. You can call me a jackass if you want. I'm going to put it out there. It's your boy Kool-Aid. This is the homie Rich. I'm saying, remember to go ahead and sign up and tell me your top 5 Avengers so I can send you this book. Holla at your boy. Peace and mad flavor.
Be good, everybody.
N Geek on the beats.